the oil light. And if you open your medicine cabinet in your house or in your bathroom or wherever it is, I think you'll see an awful lot of bottles full of stuff that unplugs the symptom. It does not fix the problem. If you open your refrigerator, you might see some things that'll fix the problem as opposed to fixing the symptom. And if you learn to look at your body as a very complex machine and realize that there's different things the body tries to tell you. There are symptoms, deficiency signs, and that can be a whole study just on deficiency signs. If you're low in a certain vitamin, you get a certain problem. If you're low in vitamin C, you might get hangnails or gums that bleed or achy muscles. That might be your body trying to tell you you're low in vitamin C. If your muscles cramp easily, especially the calf muscle, you might be low in calcium. If you get headaches easy or you have unusually stinky feet, if your sweat smells worse than it should, they say you're probably low in protein, a digestible protein. And we'll have someone on this tape who's an expert on nutrition that you can get advice from them. Just all you got to do is read off the symptoms and she'll be able to tell you, mostly correctly as far as I understand, exactly what you need, what you're deficient in. It's sort of like taking your car to an expert mechanic. He can oftentimes just listen to it and say, oh, you need this and this and this. Well, if he's got years of experience working on cars, he can do that kind of thing. Whereas if a person has lots of experience working with the body from a nutritional standpoint, you can oftentimes just tell them your symptoms and they'll tell you what you need. And they may not always be right, but at least it's the right way to start, I think. The Bible says in Psalm 104, bread strengthens man's heart. If bread strengthens your heart, we need to look at how bread used to be when this verse was written. It used to be they had to bake bread fresh every day. About 150 years ago or so, they learned if they took out the vitamin E and the lecithin, the bread would last longer. And so they got more profits. Now the bread didn't go bad sitting on the shelf by taking out these vitamins. So they invented white flour, white bread. I tell the kids there's a simple formula. The whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead. If all you ever eat is white bread, you're not getting anything to strengthen your heart. You need to get vitamin E and lecithin. And there's all sorts of different types of vitamins and different companies. And I'm not selling any vitamins and don't want to sell any vitamins. But I think you'd be wise to learn some about it and to take some. There's a great book called Alive and Well about how a doctor in California uses just simply nutrition to treat all sorts of diseases. Many people have healed themselves of various diseases just by changing their diet. George Malcolmus used to be in Edson, Tennessee, now moved to North Carolina. George Malcolmus has a great book called God's Way to Ultimate Health. He used to have people come in, he still does, I guess, gives his diet where people can get cured of some unbelievable diseases. I saw a man a few months ago, I was preaching in Louisiana. The guy walked up to me and I said, man, I didn't recognize you. You've lost weight. He said, yep, I've lost 50 pounds and I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm on George Malcolmus's diet. I said, you're kidding. He said, no, that's all I'm doing. I'm following his diet and I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. So I don't need to lose 50 pounds, maybe a couple, but I haven't tried the diet. But basically, he gets rid of certain things out of the diet. You just don't eat certain things, period, because they're bad for you. And you might want to get that book. As far as treating cancer, many people have just changed their diet and healed their cancer, eliminated it totally. The cancer survival rate, as this chart shows, is pretty low for those who take traditional treatment. Those who have primary cancer have about 12% survival rate for surviving 5 years or more if they go with conventional therapy. If they go with nutritional therapy, there's an 80% survival rate. So I think we're treating this disease, cancer, from a totally wrong perspective here in this country. Here they are looking for a way to cut it out or burn it out or blast it out. Or, man, give the body what it needs to rebuild. Give it some nutrition. If your car is low on a product like oil or brake fluid or something else, there'll be a deficiency sign, and then there'll be a full-blown problem if you don't fix it. Your body will give you an early warning sign when you're low in a vitamin. If you don't fix it, it'll give you a disease. If you still don't fix it, you'll die. A lot of people died. 1 million sailors died of scurvy, and it could have been fixed by a vitamin. Now, when somebody says, I take vitamins, I right away ask them, what kind do you take? And they will typically give me the name of a company, One A Day or Fred Flintstone or something like that. I say, no, I don't mean what brand, what kind. Because there are 3 different kinds of food supplements, or vitamins as they're called. There are synthetic vitamins, there are natural vitamins, and there are live vitamins. A good way to explain this is if you wanted to fill up your church for a meeting, you can go to the store and pick out all the mannequins, the dummies, out of the windows, dress them up, bring them to church, set them in the pew. Church is full, and they look real, but they're synthetic. They're fake. They won't tithe. They won't sing. They just help fill the church. Many vitamins that people take that they buy at the store are synthetic. They're fake. They're man's attempt in the laboratory to do what God did in the real world. They're not going to do you much good. The second type of vitamin is natural vitamins. Again, if you want to fill your church, you can go to the mortuary and get 50 bodies and dress them up in suits and set them in the pew. They don't sing. They don't tithe. They just raise a stink after a while. What you have done, though, you have filled your church with 100% natural bodies, but they're dead. A lot of vitamins that people take are 100% natural, but they're dead because of the way they were processed. And it's an easy test you can do at home on your own. Get some corn. If you're going to plant corn in your garden, take the seeds, divide them into 2 piles. Take pile A and cook it. Then go plant it. Take pile B and just plant it. You'll find the seeds from pile A do not grow because they've been destroyed in the cooking. Now, under the microscope, they probably would still look nearly identical. And many people sell natural vitamins that look good under the microscope and come from a natural source, but they killed them in the processing. If you took oranges and squeezed the juice out, put the juice in a bowl and boiled it to get rid of the water, and packed the residue into tablets, you would have 100% natural vitamin C. But it's dead. You killed it when you cooked it. To get vitamins that are still alive or haven't been destroyed in processing is much more expensive. So most of the companies that produce good quality vitamins that really are alive don't even bother selling them through stores because nobody'd buy them. I mean, if you went to the store and saw a bottle of vitamin C for $3 and next to it's a bottle of vitamin C for $5, people don't take time to understand. Maybe the $5 one is still alive. They took the extra care to keep it alive in processing. So I think you'd be wise to understand some of the things about nutrition and vitamins and get the good quality stuff. And I'm not selling anything and don't want to sell anything. But I have for years taken Shaklee vitamins and I highly recommend them. They are the largest vitamin company in the world. As far as I know the world, I know in America. And they never advertise. They just they produce a quality product that is as close to nature as possible. They do the least amount of processing as possible. And all I can tell you is they work. I take them and I feel good. You need to find out what your body needs. And you can do that by studying deficiency signs. Okay, if you're sick, several steps I would take. If I had a disease or a problem, I would go through several steps. First of all, I would check to see if there's a cause that I can eliminate. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it's my diet. Maybe it's my attitude. Maybe it's not enough rest. Maybe it's too much stress. I would eliminate all of the possible things that I can understand that I might be doing to cause it. Secondly, if that didn't work, I would pray and say, God, would you please take this away? Just take it away from me, God. Paul was given a thorn in the flesh, and he prayed and said, Lord, please take it away. He besought the Lord 3 times, asked him, please take this away. God didn't take it away. He said, my grace is sufficient for thee. You can live with this, Paul. And Paul had to go through life suffering. Even Jesus on the cross, or before he went to the cross, said, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. It may not be God's will to heal you of your suffering or pain. My good friend John Bishop in Triple S Christian Ranch in Heber Springs, Arkansas, has gone through incredible suffering. And God has used that in his life to teach him many things. He's just been such a great godly Christian. He was before, but this has really done something to him, changed him in a very positive way. The suffering has been good for him. And so if I did everything I could to get rid of the possible sources of my causing it, I'd ask God to take it away. If he didn't take it away, I'd learn to live with it. I'd probably go and have the pastor of the church, I'd ask him to anoint me with oil. The Bible says to do that. But ultimately, you might just have to learn to live with it. To say, God, okay, I'll just accept it and keep on serving you. Job, after all the problems he went through, said, Lord, I don't understand all this, but even if you slay me, I'm still going to serve you. I'm going to serve you no matter what you do to me, God. And so if you're suffering in this world and you've eliminated all the causes and you're still suffering and you prayed and they anointed you with oil, well then live with it. Keep serving God. Don't get angry about it. Because what can happen is we often get confidence in the flesh. The Bible says don't have any confidence in the flesh. Philippians chapter 3. Paul said have no confidence in the flesh. Now, in 3 John, we were told, I want you to prosper. I want you to be in health. And I think you'd be wise to understand your body and try to do what you can to be healthy. as the population of